Typically, you might save your most expensive outfit for a date, wedding, or black tie event. But for fans of Terrace Fashion, a match day trip to the pub is the perfect reason to dress up. Here, dressing up means sporting 1,000 pounds worth of designer Italian outerwear and rare Adidas trainers. But what is terrace culture and how has it evolved? Keep watching to find out. The origins. Before the late 1970s, people only wore trainers for sports. This changed when football fans from Liverpool began traveling to Europe to follow their team. They came back with trainers and branded clothing not yet available in the UK. While some say Terrace Fashion started in Manchester, others credit Liverpool. Regardless, this new style gave young working-class men a way to engage with fashion. Football fans across the country adopted terrace apparel and footwear as their standard look. Adidas trainers were highly sought after, along with brands like Fila, Sergio Tacchini, Lacoste, Slazenger, Stone Island, and Fred Perry. These trends, once seen only on the football terraces, have become mainstream. In the 1980s, this style evolved into a popular youth culture, blending football and fashion. The focus was on high quality, minimal styles with subtle designer branding. As English football clubs succeeded in Europe, young fans developed a taste for the new and exotic sportswear, creating a cycle of desire and adoption. This was the beginning of hype sportswear. The casual subculture formed its own uniform core brands like Farah, Lois, Diadora, Nike, Puma, Elise, Cerruti 1881, Australian, Lacoste, Lyle & Scott, Pringle, and Kappa. Terrace fashion evolved quickly in the 80s due to the competitive nature of one-upmanship. It went from skin-tight jeans to flares, to a tapered fit to a 501 fit, to a loose, baggy fit, all in the space of a decade. It would literally change overnight. It was a street fashion in the truest sense. You had to be part of it to keep up with it. In the 90s, cornerstone brands like Sergio Tacchini and Fila made way for Stone Island and CP Company. High-end names such as Prada, Burberry, Aquascutum, and Gucci also began appearing in the stands as casuals continued their style competition. However, this constant peacocking didn't last. The advent of new technology and online auctions made rare items more accessible, causing the casual look to plateau. By the mid-1990s, casual fashion was on the rise again. During the 1992 European Championships in Sweden, England fans traveled to support their team. Despite the team's lack of success, fans looted a store called Genius, which stocked Stone Island, a brand created by CP Company founder Massimo Osti. Stone Island, known for its compass patch on the arm, quickly became a staple on the terraces. As media coverage of the casuals increased, the brand's popularity soared among football firms. To avoid police attention, some fans removed the Stone Island patch, leaving a black Velcro patch, which became just as iconic as the compass logo. This black patch symbolized the link between football hooliganism and Stone Island. The rise of Britpop and bands like Oasis and Happy Mondays, who embraced the casual look, provided a soundtrack for these football fashion fans. Noel and Liam Gallagher became the poster boys for the new generation of casuals, with their music playing in pubs across the UK on match days. By the early 2000s, with the introduction of CCTV and football banning orders, hooliganism had nearly died out. This allowed all football fans to wear casual gear without fear of being associated with violence or getting caught up in a brawl. The violent days of football casuals have been depicted in films like The Football Factory and Green Street, and in memoirs from aging football fans who were part of the firms. These works, while showing the darker side of football, also capture how the casual aesthetic endured throughout the 90s and into the new millennium. Terrace culture around Europe today. In recent years, Europe saw a Stan Smith craze. During the trip to Paris in 2015, it seemed like every other person was wearing these iconic tennis sneakers. Reissued in 2014 after a 2-year hiatus, the Stan Smith became a must-have, with designers like Raf Simons adding their touch to the silhouette, making it explode in popularity. Before this revival, the Stan Smith was mostly worn by those whose taste hadn't changed since the 1980s. While no other casual silhouette has matched the Stan Smith's prominence, the Adidas Gazelle has come close. The 2016 vintage suede pack reissued this 60s icon in classic colorways, reminding everyone of its understated style. Like the trim tab and Stan Smith, the Gazelle was a staple on the terraces in the 80s and had a revival in the 90s Britpop era. Noel Gallagher of Oasis helped bring back the style, and his rivalry with Blur even led to a song titled Trim Tab, on Blur's 1999 album. The Gallagher brothers, both passionate Manchester City fans, have done more than anyone to push Terrace style into the mainstream. Adidas has dominated the Terrace sneaker scene, but it's not the only brand to maintain its relevance. Old school Reebok favorites have made a comeback through collaborations with Palace and Gosha Rubchinski. Italian label Diadora also tapped into its casuals history by featuring West Ham hooligan turned author Cass Pennant into a campaign for its Be Elite silhouette. Before casuals adopted sneakers, British football hooligans often wore Doc Martens-style boots, part of a skinhead subculture that evolved from a peaceful music-loving movement in the 60s to one infiltrated by the far right in the 70s and 80s. As hooliganism became known as the English disease, the shift towards sneakers likely stemmed from practicality as much as style. With rival fans firms clashing outside stadiums, sneakers were better suited for running from opponents or police. Wearing designer gear instead of team colors provided camouflage for away fans. While not all casuals were hooligans, there was significant overlap. Since the end of the English football's hooligan era in the late 80s and early 90s, the resurgence of Terrace style has focused solely on the look. Timeless silhouettes like the Stan Smith and Gazelle have maintained their appeal due to their simplicity and classic design, unlike the ironic contrarianism of chunky sneakers. Terrace favorite sneakers may have peaks and troughs in popularity, but they won't face the same ridicule as bell-bottoms or mullets. These Terrace icons are here to stay. Although hooliganism is a thing of the past, the casual aesthetic lives on in football fashion today. Terrace wear is now all about looking good for the game. Many popular brands from the subculture's history like Stone Island, the CP Company, Sergio Tacchini, and Fred Perry are still seen on football terraces across the country, and, thanks to grime music, around the world. With the rise of streetwear and luxury fashion, terrace wear has shed its violent connotations and is now celebrated. Modern football fashion blends designer labels with team colors, making it easy to go from the terraces to a night out with friends after the game. In recent years, New Balance has established itself as a leading sportswear provider for football teams worldwide. Partnering with clubs like Celtic, Porto, and Liverpool, New Balance has integrated itself into the culture of both the clubs and their fan bases. In 2017, to celebrate Liverpool's 125th anniversary, New Balance collaborated with the club to create a special edition of the classic NB247 trainer. Featuring a rich red color scheme and white NB logos on the iconic Liverbird crest, the design was a hit with Liverpool fans, many of whom proudly wore them at Anfield. Building on this success, New Balance released bespoke designs for other sponsored teams. For Celtic, following their historic treble-treble win, New Balance created a special edition of the 997H silhouette. The design featured Celtic's iconic green and white mesh upper and famous four-leaf clover crest on the tongue. This collaboration was eagerly embraced by the passionate Celtic fan base. Next, New Balance partnered with Portuguese giants FC Porto to create two custom designs of the 997H silhouette. Featuring the club's blue and white palette with gold accents and FCP lettering, the shoes also included the club badge on the inner sole and a special signature translating to "Like us, one of us," highlighting the bond between FC Porto fans. These designs, worn by players pre-match, further strengthen the connection between the fans and the players. In 2021, New Balance also released a special edition 997H trainer for Roma, timed with the arrival of manager Jose Mourinho. The design incorporated Roma's traditional yellow and red colors in the club's badge on the tongue, aligning with New Balance's Only Roma campaign. Across all these collaborations, New Balance has successfully captured the essence of each city and the club's heritage without resorting to over-the-top designs. Their ability to create stylish yet subtle commemorative footwear has resonated with fans, making these trainers something to be proud of on many of the terraces. Well done, New Balance. Here's to many more designs in the future as new teams join the roster. While terrace culture has a common thread globally, local nuances make each scene unique. In the UK, terrace culture has evolved significantly, merging with other subcultures and adapting to modern trends. These days, the look is less about hooliganism and more about fashion and music. In the UK, Adidas remains the dominant brand of terrace culture, particularly models like the Gazelle and the Samba. According to recent market data, Adidas Gazelle sales have surged by 25% in the past year, making it the most popular shoe in this fashion genre. This is partially due with its timeless style and strong association with the football terraces of the past.
Terrace culture in the UK is also steeped in the drill rap scene.
Artists often sport classic terrace brands such as Stone Island, CP Company, and Fred Perry in their music videos and public appearances. The cross-pollination has introduced terrace fashion to a younger audience, blending the lines between football fan culture and urban streetwear. In cities like London, Manchester, and Liverpool, you'll see a mix of classic terrace brands and modern streetwear on match days. The style often includes slim-fit jeans, designer trainers, and statement jackets, with Stone Island and Adidas being particularly favored. The blend of heritage and contemporary elements makes terrace fashion versatile and appealing to various demographics. Italian football hooligans and fans have long shown a preference for high-end sportswear, combining it seamlessly with classic terrace sneakers. Fila remains one of the most beloved brands, with its retro styles seeing a resurgence in the recent years. Sales of Fila tracksuits have increased by 20% in the past year, according to market reports, underscoring their enduring appeal. Adidas continues to be a strong presence, with models like the Samba and Gazelle frequently spotted on the terraces. The typical look for Italian football fans includes slim-fit jeans, designer sneakers, and branded outerwear. It's a blend of classic terrace style and high-end fashion, with an emphasis on luxury and sophistication. On match days, it's common to see fans sporting Fila tracksuits paired with Adidas sneakers and a Stone Island jacket, creating a look that's both sporty and stylish. In Spain and France, terrace culture may not be as distinctly documented as that in the UK or Italy, but European brands like Lacoste and Napapijri play a significant role in the football fashion scene. Lacoste, renowned for its iconic polo shirts and sneakers, remains a staple in the terrace fashion across Europe. Its classic and sporty aesthetic appeals to football fans who appreciate both style and comfort. According to recent market data, Lacoste polo shirt sales have seen a 10% increase among football fans in Spain and France. Napapijri, famous for its high-quality outerwear, especially jackets and coats, is also popular among terrace enthusiasts for its functional yet stylish designs, perfect for the unpredictable weather often encountered on match days. In the Netherlands, terrace culture closely mirrors that of the UK, with a strong preference for high-quality brands like Stone Island and CP Company. These brands, known for their distinctive designs and high-quality materials, are synonymous with terrace culture fashion in the Netherlands. Adidas remains a key player, with models like the Stan Smith, Samba, and Spetzel being particularly popular. Dutch terrace culture has permeated the local music scene, with many rap and hip-hop artists adopting and promoting terrace styles, helping bring terrace fashion to a broader, younger audience. The typical terrace look in the Netherlands includes Stone Island jackets, CP Company casual wear, and Adidas sneakers. And there you have it, folks. Again, it was a great video to make, and we hope that you enjoyed it too. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel before you click on our next video. See ya!